game plan. Double XL up in the paint, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man. Moving too quick, keep the cameras in the playback. Dang, so tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Lay it on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at, never fall back. No lies on facts, we gon' stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. We ain't never fall back.
We got a short week and a really good team coming in, and you know, hopefully we can put on a good show before we head up to Austin.
Welcome into Thompson Reynolds Stadium and Buddy Anderson Field tonight. Two good teams in a game that kind of means nothing, but don't tell the kids that. Vestavia 7-2 and in third place in the region against the Helena Huskies, who were in first place last week. They lost to Benjamin Russell, so they are the number 2 seed in 6A in their region. We'll get into the playoff discussion in a moment. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, B.J. Milliken on the sideline. We'll check with him in just a second. How do you approach this game? Both teams want to win. You certainly don't want to lose going into the playoffs. But at the end of the day, the game only really means something competitively, not record-wise.
It's all about coming out and competing, playing your best football at the end of the season and getting ready into the playoffs. And for Vestavia, they're looking to win 8 games in the regular season for the first time since 2015. So there's some motivation. There's a lot from a statistical standpoint that matters. But I think from these coaches' perspective, they want to win the game, number one. Yeah. Number two, I don't want to get anybody hurt. And so that's really the focus here tonight, because nothing matters until next week when the playoffs begin for both of these teams.
And that's the weird balance. I didn't mean to come across like they don't care about winning, but at the end of the day, it really does mean nothing in the scope of the season and what Robert Evans talks about all the time. What do we think of Helena? They've been very good under Richie Busby. Not as good last year, 6-4. And Vestavia beat him by 3 touchdowns. This year's different.
Yeah, but last year, even in this game last year, they put up over 400 yards against Vestavia. They moved the ball up and down, ran it really well. This is a program that's solid. 8-1 in 6A football. They're going to go in, had a chance to win the region last week, as you mentioned earlier, but this is a good football team, and it's why you schedule this type of game at the end of the season, is hope you have to compete, because next week you really do.
Let's take a look at the schedule as we always do. We only have 1 game left in the regular season, of course, but you can kind of see how it has shaken out. A lot of wins there. Only 2 losses, obviously, to Thompson and to Hewitt-Trustful, but the last 2 weeks, 95-0. So I think it's been turned around.
The last 2 weeks have been complete domination by the Vestavia Rebels. They've come out against 2 inferior opponents, but they've done what they needed to do, played really well, and now you're going to look to try and keep that going forward.
Let's take a look at the region records, because that's over with now, but at least we get a final look. And as you and I talked about, another step up. It's not where we thought we would be or wanted to be, but we did move from 4th to 3rd.
And that's a step, and that's what Coach Robert Evans talks about, is continuing to build this program and move forward every year. The 2 things that jump out at me, one, the Hewitt-Trustful win. Obviously, that was the determining factor when they came here and were very impressive just 3 weeks ago. Number 2, Hoover makes the playoffs, but only at 4-6. So they're under 500 for the first time in forever, which is pretty big. And then connected to that is the fact that Hoover beat Spain Park in the regular season 28-20 in a game where Spain Park had a number of injured players, had a number of turnovers, did not play well. I would say Spain Park is one of the top 10 teams in all of high school football in the state of Alabama, and they're not going to the playoffs.
At home.
That's right.
Nowhere to go. Now, this has not been a lengthy series at all, but Vestavia has dominated 3-0, but really not enough games to talk about.
No, it's a new school. Again, Helena's only been playing for a decade or so, and the last game, obviously, 44-22 last season.
All right, our third member of the crew is B.J. Milliken down on the field, and he's got a coat on. It's a little cool there tonight. B.J., what's field conditions like?
The field is great, as always. The air around the field and everything else, a little chilly for my taste. But, again, hey, it's November football. Robert Evans always talks about it. Meaningful games. Meaningful games means you're going to have to layer up. That's what we've done tonight. I want to touch on something you already said, 95-0 the last 2 weeks for the Rebels. Helena has only been held under 30 twice this year. So it'll be interesting to see if the Rebel defense continues that momentum with shutouts. Can they get a shutout? I don't know. It's going to be tough tonight against Helena. Obviously, that's something to look for. And how is this momentum from tonight going to carry over to the first round of the playoffs? You don't want to end the season on a dud.
That's right. And that's kind of the importance of those games. Thanks, BJ. And conversely, Helena has only given up more than 20 points twice. Both of those were losses. So they pride themselves defensively as well.
This is an outstanding team, averaging 39 points per game offensively, only giving up 12.8 defensively. It's going to be a very formidable opponent for Vestavia. They're going to have to come out, have to play well, but it's very likely they're getting William Tonsmeyer back in the running back position. He was on the field in warm-ups and looked good.
All right, we will take a break, come back with the pregame conversation with head coach Robert Evans. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Welcome back to the pregame show with head coach Robert Evans. A huge 45-0 win over Tuscaloosa County on the road. A great way to bounce back as well. And I tell you what, I really didn't expect, and ease, I'm not saying it was easy to prepare or beat them or anything, but the way the game went, I expected a little more resistance from them.
Yeah, well, the first quarter, I thought we were kind of off and running and had the turnover early on, and was worried that could it be one of those nights where we turn the ball over and keep the other team in the game, but really kind of pulled away from the middle of the second quarter to the start of the fourth quarter and was proud of the guys for kind of putting the foot on the gas and getting away from a team that in theory is dangerous, but, you know,
Welcome back to the pregame show with head coach Robert Evans. A huge 45-0 win over Tuscaloosa County on the road. A great way to bounce back as well. And I tell you what, I really didn't expect, and ease, I'm not saying it was easy to prepare or beat them or anything, but the way the game went, I expected a little more resistance from them.
Yeah, well, the first quarter, I thought we were kind of off and running and had the turnover early on, and was worried that could it be one of those nights where we turn the ball over and keep the other team in the game, but really kind of pulled away from the middle of the second quarter to the start of the fourth quarter, and was proud of the guys for kind of putting the foot on the gas and getting away from a team that in theory is dangerous, but, you know, both back, and you can see we get the kick, and then we get Hill Hewen up on the linebacker, and then Caden gets to the safety and breaks a tackle. And when you can get to first contact 10 or 12 yards down the field and break a tackle and play with some physicality, it's really a good thing to see as a head coach. And our guys blocked and ran the ball well the other night, and Caden had a big play, and that's why, you know, it's a lot of different factors. It's a different personnel. It's different guys having to play various roles, but still executing at a high level and getting quality yards in the second half against Tuscaloosa Friday.
And it's cool to blow guys up, but your guys aren't big enough to do that on a consistent basis. But there's more to blocking in there on the offensive line.
Absolutely. I mean, the case in point here is just angles, right? We got angles on guys. And when you get angles, and that's really, I mean, you can get into a huge, long discussion on it, but when you get angles and leverage on people and you can play with good pad level, you don't have to destroy people. You have to block them well enough to give your guys a chance, and just a really well-executed scheme, a good call by Coach Franklin, and well executed by our guys. And then, you know, you like to see running backs playing with physicality and breaking tackles and ripping off large runs, and that's why we picked it as kind of our play of the week.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
And let's talk about Helena a little bit. I mean, this team lost their first game last week. I think they're still region champs the way it all shaked out. It could have been a three-way tie, but what an improvement they've made from last year.
They have. You know, they didn't make the playoffs last year. They were 500, and yet even at the end of last year when we played them in Week 10, we had significant issues stopping them on the ground. They've got arguably the best back we'll see in Jordan Washington. I think the guy's tremendously underrated. I think him, along with Cole Gamble at Mountain Brook, will probably be the two best backs we see, and he's a load. He's got offers from a lot of different schools, and could play for anyone in the state of Alabama for sure, and will be, I think, a really his skill set translates well to Saturdays because he's just a big, thick kid that knows how to run behind his pads. We'll have issues again getting him on the ground. He breaks tackles every week. He's going to get his yards. And he gave us, I think he had 180 yards on us last year. And so we'll have to do a good job corralling the ball. And they're very, I think their coach does a good job. And it'll be a tough game for us. And don't take it lightly. They've got a very talented roster. I think they've got 6 or 7 guys with Division I offers. And they were undefeated until last week. I think they will wind up being the 2 seed in their region since they lost to Benjamin Russell. But this is a good test. I think they're very similar in many regards to Austin. Very athletic on the back end and have some skill and do some good things in the running game.
Where are they different in their improvement from last year, you think? Is it line play? Or?
I would say they're probably they have 2 backs this year that can do things. I think they have two really good. Their best receiver has been hurt, and I think he's supposed to be back. So they've really managed their games well, and they've just they lost a bunch of close games last year. They've won all of them except with the exception of the other night. But I think they're kind of like us. They're probably getting some guys back and trying to get healthy through this game for the playoff run. And I'm not sure who they match up with. They're in 6A, but we've had a few common opponents. We played Homewood, I believe, and know them pretty well. But I would say they're probably a fringe playoff team in our region, probably a 5 or 6 seed. But at the same time, they're good enough on a given night to beat us. And so we need to play well, and competing and winning is important to me. I think it's important to our guys, to our players, and want to finish the season, the regular season 8-2, and get some momentum heading into the playoffs.
And that was my next question, because you could say this means nothing, because it really doesn't. But going into the playoffs and having a loss, and so how, is it you just don't worry about that and you play? Or?
I don't. Like, you compete to win, and we want to win. And we do all the stuff year-round to get to the games. And I think a lot of times people can throw these games away in Week 10. And there's so many different schools of thought, but and we were just talking about before, the teams that are pretty assured of making the playoffs like to take this week off, and that makes sense. But with it being kind of just a death match most weeks in our region, we like to have the break in the middle and heal up, and that has served us well the last 2 years. We'll see what happens when Montgomery realigns in December and January, and our region will probably be a lot of the same teams, but I think there's going to be some teams, and Helena very likely will be a region opponent moving forward with their numbers and their growth in that community. So it'll be interesting to see how the state reassesses the top 32 teams and how they divvy it out. And if we feel good about our chances to make the playoffs, then we'll probably play 10 straight and then take this week off the next 2 years. But if it's the same region, we'll be playing this Week 10 for years to come.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So a little prelude possibly to a region opponent. We've played them the last 2 years. Hopefully this year will be like last year. We'll get out with a win and finish 8-2 heading into the playoffs. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the starting lineups and much more. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
When the on-time service technician arrives in your home, you give us an amazing opportunity. The opportunity to earn your trust, to arrive at your home on time, to fix the problem in your home, and to never sell you something you don't need. When the job is done and the technician leaves, I want you to be really pleased with the work. And I want something more. I want you to say to yourself, I trust that guy.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
Rebel Athletics would like to thank Ross Neely, Yearly and More, Kathy Smith Remax, Alexander Shonora, Alabama Pain Physicians, Streamline Scientific, Molecular Designs, Arc Realty, and LeMaster Medical for their contributions.
Welcome back to Thompson-Reynolds Stadium and Buddy Anderson Field. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, B.J. Milliken, our great crew here. We'll be on the road next week, obviously next Friday. So 8 days from today, Chad, taking on Austin there in Decatur. And I think that team, according to Robert, is a lot better this year than the last year when we beat them pretty good there on the road.
Yeah, that's a team that's gotten better as the season's gone on. They're ranked number 10 this week in the Sports Writers Association top 10 poll in 7A football, and they've done what they needed to do all season long. Had a chance to win that region. That was a region where a lot of teams were tied, and they were really fighting until that last week to see how it would shake out. So Vestavia going up there again 2 years in a row. Last year it was Austin as the number 1 seed. Vestavia is the number 4 seed out of Region 3. This year, Austin fell down a notch. Vestavia went up a notch, so Austin's the 2. Vestavia is the 3 out of Region 3, but it still should be a very competitive football game against what will be 2 top 10 teams playing in the first round of the playoffs.
No doubt about it. The Vestavia captains getting ready. Helena's captains, I should say, are not at the ready yet, but we're getting very close to having the captains get together here in just a few minutes. Good, cool evening tonight. Vestavia crowd's a little sparse tonight. I'm a bit surprised. Helena, halfway full or so across the way, but a lot of people staying home, I guess, watching Rebel Athletics on the YouTube and NFHS network.
This is that time of year where everybody's getting busy. It's a Thursday night, lots of stuff going on, and so it is kind of tough. The student section's much smaller than it typically is, but all on this entire side is a little lower than expected, but we hope that means you're at home and you're watching us. And so thank you for joining us here tonight on what, again, should be a very competitive game. Don't get fooled by the 6A, 7A thing. Vestavia is now, this is their 3rd 6A opponent this year, having played Mountain Brook in Week 1, Homewood also during the regular season.
All right, B.J. Milliken's down there. We're going to listen in as the referees and the captains get together.
Number 4, Kevin Pinkett for the Rebels.
Hey, good luck tonight, all right? Good luck. Congratulations on being named the captain. Welcome to Week 10, all right? This is it. Number 4, you're going to call a coin toss for me, all right? Do you want to call heads or tails? Heads? He's calling heads. It's tails. You've won the toss. You want the football. Which goal do you want to defend? The clock? Put your back to the clock. Vestavia, get over there and face the clock.
All right, so Vestavia wins the toss and takes the football. Robert Evans, again, he's kind of unconventional, right? We got defensive linemen that stand up in a 2-point stance. We take the football instead of getting it the second half. He does things his way.
He wants to come out and see the guys be aggressive, and I think that's an intentional decision. I want the guys to have to make plays, and that's something Vestavia has really done the last several weeks. Even against Hewitt, they came out pretty strong those first couple of drives and tailed off as the game went along. But especially the last 2 weeks, this has been outstanding performances offensively. The only thing that slowed Vestavia down last week was a fumble in the red zone as they were going in to extend it to a 2-touchdown lead. So by putting that offense out there, you're trying to set the tone and take control of the ball game from the opening kick.
Some injuries to talk about, and B.J. Milliken will keep an eye on William Tonsmeyer down there. He looked good. Chad and I looked at him in the pregame, and he's moving quite well for the Rebels in the warm-ups at least. I don't think he's going to get 15 carries tonight by any stretch of the imagination, but he might get 3, 4, or 5 and kind of break him in a little bit and work him in and then get him out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's playing tonight, but it's good that he's healthy enough to do so because there's no way these coaches would put him out there unless he was 100% and ready to go. And so that tells you that his healing has gone quicker than they expected. He's out. He's ready to go. Again, Bruce Littleton injured himself on the opening kickoff last week, so that's the big difference here this week with that injury.
And Bruce told me in pregame, I was talking to him, he had a little AC problem, AC joint problem, but it's healed better than he thought, and he should be good, he says, next week. Of course, the doctors will have something to say about that as well. There go the Rebels in the red jerseys and red pants and white helmets against Helena in the black helmets, white jerseys, white pants. Our last home game. We're glad you're with us here on Vestavia Football on the Rebel Nation Sports Network. Chase Webb, good shot of him down deep. And he's actually going to get the football. Most teams don't kick to him. Here comes Webb. 20, and he's tackled immediately. Football down, and I think Helena has got it. So a fumble, and Jonathan Roberto, the freshman linebacker, falls on it for the Huskies.
So the goal for Vestavia was to get the ball to set the tone. Instead, you fumble the opening kickoff, and it's a great momentum swing for Helena just like that. There you see Webb going in. Clearly, it was a fumble. Nice tackle on the play by Miles Gladden to knock it loose. And Helena's in business from the get-go.
All right, Carson Acker, he's got a great back, and Jordan Washington flanked to his right. Acker hands to Washington inside. Gibson Bean hangs on, but not before Washington gets 5 yards off left guard.
Washington is a dude. He put up 123 yards last year against Vestavia. Earlier this season against Briarwood, he had 39 carries for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's going to carry it a lot, and he is very effective in the backfield.
2nd down and 5 for the Huskies. This is not the start Robert Evans wanted for his football team for sure. Twins to the left, single wide up top, Washington around in. Watson giving chase, good pursuit by the Rebels. Jack Mayhall kind of stretched him out, and Watson cleaned him up.
On the first play, we saw north and south. This time we see Washington going west, going side to side. Not as effective there, but does have pretty good speed.
So a penalty. I missed the flag, so there's a penalty on Helena that'll back him up. I guess a hold, I'll theorize, to the 24-yard line. Spot foul, so it'll be 2nd down and 14 from there. Any little bit helps when you fumble on the opening kick. So 2nd and 14. Football at the 24. Aker throws to Washington out in the flat, and a missed tackle by Bean, but over there to clean it up is Boucher. And they'll get about 8 on that. It'll be 3rd down and 4.5.
But as that play shows, if you're going to try to bring Washington down, you've got to bring everything you've got. I mean, he is big, he is strong, and he finishes his runs with authority.
3rd down and 4.5. They do a quick snap, and that's going nowhere. A couple of yards maybe, as they snapped it to a linebacker. That's another Roberto brother, Joseph Roberto.
And this is something that they do. They will go into the Wildcat, and they'll keep Roberto there. He's had a couple of touchdown runs on the season, so he's a guy who is very effective in the run game, and they're going to keep him here on 4th down and 4.
4th down and 4. Drop the football, has to fall on it. So the Rebels, after an opening kickoff fumble, will emerge unscathed after the drop football.
And that's a big-time play by this defense to come out in a negative situation and just hold firm. After a big gain on 1st down, the penalty obviously hurt Helena, but that's a great job by this Vestavia defense, and now the offense gets onto the field.
Webb goes in motion. He's getting the start. Head off left guard. He stopped immediately. Stopped right in his tracks. Nate Thomason coming up hard, as well as Brett Berry for the Huskies.
That was a really good play, really good read. Obviously, John Paul Head is the key to this Vestavia offense. Try to start with a run, and it's a negative gain, which is something that does not happen very often when Head carries the football.
Caden Taylor getting the start at running back. He had a good game last week. Trying to throw it quickly was John Paul Head, but jumping up was Barry to get his mitts on it. 3rd down 11.
There was an open receiver in the flat for Vestavia, but 2 big plays by Barry. First, he's in on the tackle for a loss. That time he jumps up and bats the ball away. Barry has come to play here in this ballgame.
3rd down 11. John Paul Head drops, going deep. Open is Mollison, but the timing off a little bit. There is a flag. It looks like maybe interference on J.T. Alvis coming over from his safety position.
And that's a play. Vestavia's actually very fortunate. You had Mollison quickly open down the sideline. Instead of putting it on the line, Head lets the ball float, which is what allows Alvis to come over, but he just nails Mollison. Easy call for the officials.
So 1st down for the Rebels. First down, they get it on a penalty. Handoff Tonsmeyer. No, they fake to Tonsmeyer inside his head. He's got about 11 yards over the left side, so Tonsmeyer makes his first appearance of the game.
Good to see him back out there. That was when he was hurt a couple of weeks ago, it did not look good at all. And for him to be back out there that quickly, and all he's got a little spat job there on the cleats, but it looks like the ankle's in pretty good shape. Again, I don't think they would put him out there if he wasn't 100%, so good to see him on the field.
There's a throw out to the right side, Caden Taylor, and he's got to the 32-yard line. Taylor with a swing pass, and nobody was guarding him.
Helena playing very soft in the secondary. They've got 3 safeties back a long way, and that's making these Vestavia receivers very open.
Tonsmeyer up the middle. He'll get 7 yards there. Well, maybe 6 we'll give him. So it'll be 2nd down at about 4, and the Rebels ready to snap it again. Again, Tonsmeyer up the middle. This time about half that, 2 maybe. And it'll be 3rd down and short.
Both of those runs by Tonsmeyer north and south. I'm going to be interested to see, do they give him anything to the outside? Because that's when you run the potential of hurting your ankle, when you have to cut.
And he was limping just then.
Yeah, when you got to plant and get turn, that's when it's a little bit harder. So far, the first 2 runs are north and south.
Head fakes inside, wide open up the middle. They're trying to make him fumble, but Head holds on to the football to the 11-yard line, and he's got a 14-yard gain up the middle. Nice run there, good blocking, Head inside, and you saw the chop there down on his arm, but no way was he going to let go of that football again.
Little trap play there. Landon Page did a nice job on the offensive line, helping to spring that play.
1st down at 10. Head left side, running inside the 5 to the 4, and again, the Tim Tebow-like John Paul Head, he doesn't do anything fancy. In fact, he likes to invite contact down here. 2nd down and about 3. Handoff inside, and not much going on there for Tonsmeyer. Tonsmeyer had a little bit of a gimp to him. He's coming out now. He looks fine running off the field there, though.
Yeah, and after John Paul Head carries it on the first play of this drive and loses a yard, since then it's been nothing but positive yardage from the quarterback position. A good stop there by Helena on that 2nd down. That brings up a 3rd and 2.
Very short 2. Power package, Head inside. Is he in for the touchdown? He is. Touchdown, John Paul Head with the score. He's got his 18th touchdown on the year just running the football.
We talked about it. Blockers go right. John Paul Head did a good job of recognizing the open space back to his left. He makes the cut and then plows into the end zone. That's a really good start as he fights through 2 Husky defenders to get into the end zone.
So 6-0 Vestavia as they'll try the extra point. Owen Simpson on. Robertson will put it down. Charlie Ingram will snap it for the Rebels. 6:53 to go in the first quarter. The kick is up. It is good. Timeout on the field. We'll be back with more Rebel Nation Sports Network.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Jordan Washington is one of the guys deep for the Huskies. Owen Simpson will kick it off. To get about half of his kicks go into the end zone. This one will not make it, and here come the Huskies running it out. Vestavia's been really good on kickoff coverage until last week, but a good play there as they hold the Huskies right about the 20-yard line.
Nice job of getting down the field. It's kind of a surprise with as many balls as Owen Simpson's been kicking into the end zone. The kickoff team, they've been a little hesitant, not expecting anybody to bring that out and run the ball back, but that happened there. Good coverage. Anytime you keep them at or around the 20-yard line, you've had done a good job on the special teams.
Acker back in at quarterback. Hands off to Washington's got a big hole, gets outside, and tripping him up was Spence Hanna. And if he hadn't tripped up his shoelaces, he might have gone a lot further.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Vestavia very fortunate that Hannah was able to get in there on that play because that was a good job of blocking up front by Helena. They created a hole for Washington, and he does not need much room. I mean, he will get there, he'll cut. Again, don't let the size deceive you. He can run, and if he gets into the open field, he can go.
First down and 10. First down is brought to you by On Time Service. Handoff Washington around right end. Shea tries to get him. A couple of guys try to get him. He's still on his feet before he's belted out of bounds by Harrison Faust. A couple of missed tackles on that run.
Yeah, and that time Helena outflanked Vestavia on the right side. They got him with alignment, and then were able to get to the edge, get good blocks on the outside, and that's what allowed Washington to turn that corner. So nice execution on back-to-back run plays for Helena.
First down at 10 for the Huskies. At the 48-yard line of Vestavia. Acker, inside handoff. Not much going on there. Good play by Jacob Watson. Also, William Plaisant's in there. He's getting a lot more playing time from the defensive end position.
Good job by Watson of recognizing that play, avoiding the block, coming up to the second level, and then getting inside to make the tackle.
Second down and 8 for the Huskies.
And Helena's offense a lot slower than what we're used to seeing from Vestavia and a lot of these other schools that the Rebels have played throughout the season. They take their time, they get the play from the sideline, they'll get checks from there, and then they'll finally snap it.
Whistle, and Vestavia guys are clapping, and it is procedure against the Huskies. That'll back them up 5.
Vestavia shifted, and as a result, you're going to get movement on the freshman offensive lineman, Eli Berry.
Berry, the right tackle for the Huskies. Second down, about 13. Acker looking under pressure, got a swing pass out. Missed tackle again, but coming back to clean it up was Gibson Beanie. Missed him initially, but came back and got his man on that tackle, only about a 2-yard gain.
And that was good recognition. Vestavia was in zone coverage, dropped back. That was Santiago released into the flat, and then good pursuit by the Rebels secondary to, once the ball was caught, get there and make the tackle and keep it to a short gain.
Third down, 11, football just past the 50, the nose on about the 49. Good look from the Vestavia sidelines there. Red unis with the jerseys and pants. Third down. Acker drops back over the middle. He's got a man. double coverage, but I think he got it. Hannah thinks he got it, but the tie will go to the receiver. Nice catch, Nathan Jones. Tough pass there.
Watch this. You've got a safety over the top and then another defender coming underneath. And watch Jones go up and make this catch. That is a great concentration, great use of your hands. Catching the ball at the highest point, just an outstanding play from the receiver position by Nate Jones.
That's a covered receiver right there, too. Acker threw it anyway. Let his man win it. Washington inside. Plaisance there, along with a host of other Rebels. You see Bruno, Faust, and others, but Plaisance first one to get his hands on it.
And that's one of the first times tonight where we've seen this Vestavia defensive front get good push, good pressure, and make contact with Washington behind the line of scrimmage. And if you do that, it's really hard for a running back to get his momentum and get going. Just a really good play by the Rebels.
2nd down and 12 for the Huskies. Huskies not as quick as the Rebels on snapping the football and trying to move the offense in a hurried fashion. Handoff inside. Good running again by Washington. Gang tackling by the Rebels. Hannah came up and hit him hard, but Washington gets about 5 on that carry.
And that's a perfect example of if you're going against a big back, you cannot hit him high. He will not go down. You have to go long, low, and you have to come strong. And that's just, again, the strength of Washington continuing to fight forward and pick up extra yardage when most backs would have gone down at first contact. Instead, he was able to pick up several more yards.
Third down is 6. Handoff Washington, right side. That's the kind of call you do if you know you're going forward on 4th down. And he picks up a couple over there. Caden Daniels came up hard from his cornerback position. So 4th down and about 3 or 4.
And for Helena, Coach Busby came to let it all, well, just as you say that, that's exactly what you do. You run that run play because you think you're going to go for it on 4th down. I'm really surprised, especially given the fact that he went for it on a similar down and distance on the last drive on the same part of the field. So I am very surprised that he's kicking the field goal here.
If it is a kick, Austin Lewis will attempt to kick it unless it's a fake. No, it's not. There's a kick and it's blocked. I don't know who got a hand on it. Ross, maybe, because he's the most penetratable force that got in there, right? But I didn't see who got it. So somebody got a hand on it. See if we can see it. No, actually, who?
That was a low kick, too. Didn't have much height at all. Hard to tell on that replay, but good pressure, good pursuit by the Vestavia defense. Once again, they did a really good job. Twice, Helena has gotten the ball into the red zone, and twice they've come up with no points.
Interesting. 1st down at 10. Head drops back. It's got a lollipop to Webb, but it wasn't near Chase. Chase was going down the seam, and the hash mark there, and it was a little bit inside that, Chad.
Helena is playing 3 deep safeties against Vestavia. That gives you a really good opportunity to throw the ball in between the linebackers and the safeties. That ball there, it's the second time tonight, John Paul Head just did not zip it quite enough. That ball needed to be a little more on a line.
Tonsmeyer still in, right side, and he'll get about 4 before he was tackled by Kevin Pinker to safety. Okay, I've seen enough with Tonsmeyer. I want him out myself. I need to have him next week, right? He's coming out now, but he may be back in. I don't know. 3rd down at 6. He looks good to go. Head dancing over the middle. He's got a man, Mollison. He'll make the tough catch. He'll make the 3rd down catch, and he does there and gets 12 yards for the 1st down.
That was a great throw by John Paul Head. Mollison knowing where he needs to go, gets about 2 yards past the sticks, comes across the middle. Good job by Head of stepping up in the pocket and delivering a strike.
Mollison in motion. Hand to Tons. Nope, fake to Tonsmeyer. Head up the middle. Scooting, still on his feet. And he's got a 1st down, 12-yard run for John Paul Head.
Really nice blocking up front by Caden Taylor, and nice job by Head of understanding where my blocker is and the concept of the play. He simply put his hand on Taylor's back and followed him through the hole.
Ball fake to Taylor. Going deep again. There's Webb. He's got it. Another touchdown. Chase Webb from John Paul Head. Webb with the touchdown, only his 7th catch of the year, 3 touchdowns out of 7 catches.
You cannot teach speed, and this is simply Chase Webb running by the secondary. This is a great ball by John Paul Head. Lays it out, allows Webb to run into it, straight into the end zone.
Webb with the touchdown, 13-0. Vestavia. So Simpson will kick the extra point. Again, Robertson to hold, the backup quarterback. Charlie Ingram to snap it. It is up and good. Timeout on the field. We'll take a 45-second break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
Welcome back to Vestavia football, and that's a touchback for Owen. So 2 kickoffs, 1 touchback. That's usually his average, and the Huskies will start on the 20-yard line.
Now the Vestavia defense has a chance to respond again. They've started the first drive, obviously, after the turnover, deep in Helena territory. This time, then the second drive, Helena drove down, puts together some really nice runs by Washington, but ultimately Vestavia's defense came up with a stop. I know this coaching staff and defense coordinator Sean Rainey there would love a 3-and-out on this drive.
1st and 10, Helena. Fake, Acker comes inside, and Ross kind of shoulders him down, gets a little help from Chuck Hammock. But another loss. That's about, what, 4th or 5th tackle for loss so far for the Rebels.
And you can see this defensive line as this game continues to progress. This Vestavia is starting to get good pressure, get into the backfield, and really affecting these run plays before the running back can get going.
2nd down, 11. New quarterback in for the Huskies, throws it out, and that's Mr. Haney, Caleb Haney, with the catch for about 4 yards. The new quarterback is Nate Ferguson, a sophomore. So 3rd down and 5. And that'll do it for the first quarter. So we'll take a 1-minute break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
When the on-time service technician arrives in your home, you give us an amazing opportunity. The opportunity to earn your trust, to arrive at your home on time, to fix the problem in your home, and to never sell you something you don't need. When the job is done and the technician leaves, I want you to be really pleased with the work. And I want something more. I want you to say to yourself, I trust that guy.
Welcome back to Thompson-Reynolds Stadium. Scott Griffin and Chad Pilcher, former Ole Miss quarterback, Vestavia resident, on our team, along with B.J. Milliken as well. First play of the second quarter. Acker is in. I don't know if he had an equipment adjustment or what. Boy, he stayed in there and delivered that one. And there's a nice long pass and run for the Huskies. Nathan Jones with his second big catch.
And both of the catches that he's made have been so hard. The difficulty factor very high, having to go up and use your hands when the plays were well defended by Vestavia in both accounts. The previous catch, a deep ball, he was double teamed and still came up with the catch over 2 defenders. And that time, really good coverage man-to-man by the Rebels, but Jones just better, able to use his hands, get his hands around the body of the defender and make that catch. Big-time plays, and then have enough presence of mind to tuck it and pick up about 20 extra yards after the catch.
So first down and 10 at the 32. And whistle and, I guess, motion again by the Huskies. Procedure. We'll see what they come up with here.
This is the third time in this first half where Helena has had a penalty once they've got a play. Oh.
So it's against Vestavia, right?
It was.
Vestavia was clapping like it was for their favor, but it ends up going against the Rebels, so it's first down and 5. Hold on, we got Robert Evans is very upset on the sidelines. So we'll see. He's talking to the officials right now, and you can see him there. He is very animated and upset. The officials taking it there, Chad, but
and I was not able to hear what the call was.
Jones around right, and boy, he's belted down there. Coming up hard was Caden Daniels. Since he's come back from injury, he's come up and wanted to trade paint.
Great job, and sometimes when you get a bad call called against you, that'll fire up the entire team and certainly the players, and it looked like a couple of big-time finishes on that play by the Vestavia defense. Daniels was there.
Robert is still chewing on the official about that call. Second down and 5. Handoff Washington, left side, and he didn't run with such great abandon. Coming over hard is Spence Hanna for the tackle, so only a 2-yard gain for Washington.
And a nice response by this Vestavia defense. Again, you felt like you got a tough call go against you, and then you've had back-to-back plays. Very strong pursuit and strong tackles by the Rebel defense to finish the play.
14-0 Vestavia, trying to hold on to that shutout. Helena, 3rd and 5. Whistle and a timeout. Richard Busby will take a 45-second break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
Welcome back to Rebel Nation Sports Network. Robert Evans still upset with that call from a few plays ago and still chewing on the officials on that. And now he's going to get involved in the defense.
And I think the call they called simulating the snap count against Vestavia.
Acker over the middle, and that'll be very close, and we'll have a first down as he gets a completed pass to Travis McDaniel. So the Huskies with a first down and moving the football.
So a good timeout there by Coach Busby, and another good catch by these Helena receivers. They are not afraid to go up and risk their bodies to go make a catch, and they've made several. That was another one.
First down Huskies from the 19. Handoff Washington inside, bursting through. Hanna sticks his nose in there, but Washington is down to the 13 and has about a 7-yard gain. He's a really good back.
If I was Helena, I'd give him the ball 3 more times. I mean, you see what he's capable of doing. Sometimes coaches tend to overthink things, but that's 6 yards on first down, and he's a guy that's capable of picking up strong yardage. Now for Vestavia, you got to be really strong up the middle, knowing that's typically where Washington's going to run the football.
Acker hands to Washington again, left in, coming up hard, Boucher, and makes the ankle grab for a 2-yard loss. Shea came up hard, broke down like he should, and ended up making a nice tackle.
Really good pursuit to the football by the Vestavia defense. A nice job of getting into the backfield, disrupting things by Gibson Bean, and then he's there to finish off the tackle. But again, sometimes coaches overthink things. When you pick up 6 going up the middle, I don't know if it makes sense to then try to go outside. It's a strong, tough back that's really good in between the tackles.
3rd down and 9. Ross in there, fumble, or is that a pass? They're ruling it an incomplete pass. I didn't know. It's very close to see. I think JV's got their replay on that possibly, and we can see if it's a fumble or forward pass. They called it a pass. Boy, that's close.
Connor Guida tried to block Jordan Ross, and he did not do so successfully. Just whiffed at it. Great job by Ross of getting to the inside, making that contact. I think that's one of those. Looked like hit the last. He did kind of flip his arm forward, which is what the officials saw, and that's why they called it incomplete. But a great job of rushing the passer by Jordan Ross, get there and disrupting that play.
So 4th down and 9. Will the Rebels get off the field again? The Huskies have been there 3 times. Long pass, that's not even close. Acker threw it up, and no one was there. So Cross Tonsmeyer, good to see him back playing in the nickel defense. So the Rebels take over again. 3 trips, 3 empty trips.
And you can't do that against a team like Vestavia. They're too good. If you get an opportunity to put points on the board, you have to take advantage of it. At a minimum, Helena could have 9. At a maximum, they could potentially have 21. Instead, they have 0.
1st down Rebels. John Paul Head under center. Stop the presses. Takes the snap, hands off Tonsmeyer. Different little wrinkle. Tonsmeyer with 13 yards off right guard. I love seeing the quarterback under center.
You talk about when that happens and you're a defensive coordinator, you just go, oh, no. We didn't practice for that this week.
We haven't seen that.
We're not prepared
for
that.
What is that, actually? I mean, it's so rare. You hope John Paul gets under the center, not the guard, right? Long shot for John Paul Head, and coming over the top, knocking it away from Richardson on a nice play was Eli Ray.
We'll see here if there was any contact down the field. I think the reason the flag didn't come out because the ball was thrown behind him. Yeah, good coverage.
Yeah.
That was good coverage by Ray down the field, trying to get it to Richardson, but you got to just give him a chance. Throw it up, let him give a chance. That ball was thrown behind him, and he was not able to make a play on it.
2nd down and 10. Whistle and flag on the Huskies. Encroachment on Helena. So it'll be 2nd down and about 5.
And this was the official that Coach Evans was all over after the previous penalty, so probably nice for that official to call, make a call.
Nice
He's like, okay,
gesture.
not going to get yelled at on that one.
Nice gesture. 2nd down 5. Charlie Ingram in for Bruce Littleton. He played very good last week. He's playing good this week. Head up the middle. He's across the 50 now, and he's got about 14 yards on that play.
Almost looked like the Husky defenders just whiffed. John Paul Head's coming straight up the middle, and no one touched him until 10 yards down the field.
And ready to snap it again. Head swing pass out to Taylor. Nice catch, turning his body. Taylor down the sideline to the 35-yard line. So that's a 13-yard gain.
2 good plays there. One, John Paul Head seeing quickly there was nothing down the field. He goes to his check down to Taylor, and an outstanding catch by Taylor to spin around to bring it in.
1st down and 10. Head around right side. Going around right end, still running. Looks quick tonight in the cold weather. 12-yard gain there. It looked like he just ran right past the Huskies' defensive end.
It doesn't look like this Husky defense wants any part of John Paul Head when he's running full steam.
Taylor, left side, and he's drugged down there. Nice play. Nate Thomason coming up from his middle linebacker position. Taylor had a great game last week. Career high in carries. Ended up with over 70 yards against the Wildcats of Tuscaloosa County.
And he's going to be really important going forward in these playoffs. Again, not knowing what you'll get with Littleton.
Yeah.
Tonsmeyer being hurt and coming back. He's going to be very important.
Head fakes to Tonsmeyer up the middle. Thomason hits him again. Head not as much success, but still 6 or 7 straight up the middle. How many quarterbacks run between the tackles like John Paul Head? Not many. Yeah. He's so tough and difficult. Look at the legs and that lower body strength that he has. 3rd down and 6. Head will roll right. Look, throws. Nobody there. And that should have really been a pick. I don't think Desmond James knew what to think.
Yeah, and that time very fortunate for the Rebels. All night, Helena's been playing safeties deep. They've got the deep safeties. And that time, the free safety in the middle of the field ran with the receiver, never saw James continuing to drop back and stay in his zone in that cover 3 look. And so as a result, he was able to knock it down. Fortunate for the Rebels that it was not picked off.
Simpson, 7 of 8 on field goals. He had a 43-yarder last week, 35 this time. He's been terrific for Vestavia. You never know when you meet him. And this one is up and good. So Owen Simpson on the board, 35 yards, 17-0, Vestavia. We'll take a break, come back with more. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Rebel Athletics would like to thank Ross Neely, Yearly and More, Kathy Smith Remax, Alexander Shannara, Alabama Pain Physicians, Streamline Scientific, Molecular Designs, Arc Realty, and LeMaster Medical for their contributions.
Welcome back to Thompson Reynolds Stadium. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, Buddy Anderson Field, of course. And there's a long kick by Simpson. It's returnable at the 3 for the Huskies. Running up and a nice open field tackle by Jack Mayhall on special teams. So the Huskies will start inside the 20. B.J. Milliken has more on this senior class in their last home game. B.J.
Yeah, Griff, I think there's been a lot of talk about not an important game or not a consequential game, but it is very consequential for a lot of these seniors on this field for Vestavia. This is the last time they're going to play on this field in front of these fans, and this is one of those things where you have to, think about that as a senior, and they're probably thinking about that. That's why Tonsmeyer wanted to play in this game. So guys who have turned this program around, I think, will look back to guys like Jordan Ross and J.P. Head, Cooper Mollison, all of these seniors who have kind of started building this program back.
No doubt about it. Jordan Ross, one of those, and you saw him gobble up Acker on the bumbled snap. Take a look. Yeah, that's dead man's land there, isn't it?
Yeah, when you see Jordan Ross coming, give it to the running back. Give it to the guy going the other way. He didn't. Great play by Jordan Ross. This has been a group that's come in, again, started their career. Their freshman year, Coach Anderson was here. Their sophomore year, Sean Calhoun was here. And then the last 2 years, Coach Robert Evans is here. So they've been through a lot.
Wow, Gibson Bean took a wrong angle. I thought he was going to blow up the receiver. And he took a wrong angle. Mayhall had to make that tackle.
Their freshman year, the varsity team was 4-6, didn't make the playoffs. Their sophomore year, 4-6, didn't make the playoffs. They were able to get to the playoffs last year, end up 7-5 at the regular season, and now again here tonight, going for an 8th win in the regular season, which would be the first time since 2015 that's been done at Vestavia Hills High School. And so this is a team that's been transformational in getting this program back up and going.
And this was a team that lost a lot of seniors last year, and many questioned them, and they're about to go 8-2. Washington around in, Spence Hanna, who's scared of no one, even on Halloween a couple of days after with that tackle. 4th down and 1. Now, what does Richie Busby do? 4th and 1, 17-0, under 5 to go in the second.
I think you've got to punt it here.
And that's what he's going to do. Still a football game right now,
Yeah,
right?
I still go back to the first drive. I think if he had the first drive to do it over again, he would have taken the points. Just put the 3 points on the board, take a lead in the ball game. That would have been about a 25, 30-yard field goal. Instead, he didn't, and then once Vestavia's offense has gotten going, it's just snowballed from there.
So we'll keep it here on the timeout. And I didn't see who called it, actually, but 4:17 to go in the second quarter. There's a good look at Sean Rainey, Robert Evans. Look at Robert. He's a head coach that gets involved.
And he and Coach Rainey have worked together for a very long time. Goes all the way back to Oak Mountain. When they were there, they then went to Hoover and went there. And then when Coach Rainey left to go to Spain Park, Coach Evans took over as the defensive coordinator at Hoover, then moved to Mountain Brook, and then obviously came back to Vestavia as the head coach, and now they're reunited. And so that's just a great pair together. Great defensive minds, guys that understand this game, and we've said this a lot, but there's a number of games where Vestavia plays and they simply out-scheme and out-coach their opponent, and that's a big reason why they've been so successful these last 2 seasons.
4th down and 1. You got to watch for the fake, but I don't think they will, and it'll be kicked away. And nobody back, no Charlie Taft, nothing for Vestavia. That was interesting. And it rolls dead at the 23-yard line. So the Rebels will take over again with a chance to add another score before the half.
And going back to that play under center, that happened fast, so I didn't have a chance. I'm pretty sure that was a wing T counter. And so we went old school. Not only to go under center, went old school for that play call that was very effective.
Yeah, misdirection, and there's Tonsmeyer again inside, still running. He's down the field to the 42. That cat was injured 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's running tremendously, and he's going to come out now.
He's looked awesome right here. Look at him break a tackle, and when he goes north and south, there's nothing wrong there. That is full speed. He looks good. He did hobble a little bit as he went down, and so he is hobbled off of the field. He's now going in the tent to be looked at.
Yeah, we got there's head up the middle, spinning to the 30. And it's great to see Tonsmeyer do that, but it needs to be done, right?
That needs to be it. We now have a Helena player down on the sidelines.
Injured timeout for Huskies. We'll take a 1-minute break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Welcome back, Thompson Reynolds Stadium. Tonsmeyer in the tent. B.J. Milliken will be on top of that if he can. 1st and 10 for the Rebels. So you saw him, his ankle rolled a little bit on that last tackle as he broke away. You saw the speed, though. All that was back. Hopefully he did not re-injure that in a bad fashion. In motion, Taylor. They throw it out. Charlie Taft, he's eaten up right there by Jonathan Roberto, the freshman linebacker.
Good pursuit there by the Helena defense. Vestavia actually brought 2 receivers out wide, had one receiver covered up, but they threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, so they were able to release downfield and block.
Caden Taylor, right side, breaking a tackle, still leaning forward, down to the 23-yard line. He moved in from Florida, played baseball, didn't want to play football. Robert Evans finally talked to him. His parents wanted him to. He's been a terrific player for Vestavia here his senior year. There's Head around right in to the 17-yard line. And that's a first down for Vestavia.
You need those players that can play multiple positions and really helps.
Caden Taylor, right side, bams into the Huskies' defensive backs, Desmond James, and he'll get a hard 4 there, 2nd and 6.
I love to watch guys finish runs strong, lower their shoulder, and bring a punch when you finish the run. That's what Taylor did there.
Taylor again, left side, got a big hole. 5-4 to the 3, well, very close to the 3. They'll mark him at the 4, and it's 1st and goal for the Rebels. Going quickly again. Handoff Taylor, inside, touchdown. Caden Taylor with the touchdown run. And what a terrific finish for him, his 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
And that drive, the backside of that drive was all about Caden Taylor. We talked about it again, diving forward into the end zone to finish that run. You got to bring your legs. He gets a good jump into the end zone. Great blocking downfield by the Rebels. Excellent execution. The offense is moving here tonight.
I tell you what, hats off to Charlie Ingram, who's snapping. He's filling in for Littleton. He's blocking well. He's doing a nice job. He's also a senior for the Rebels, number 44 there, just about to snap the ball. And every snap is perfect. You don't talk about the snapper until he makes a bad snap, and it does not happen for the Rebels. Kick is up and good by Owen Simpson. 24-0, Vestavia in control. We'll take a break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
Vestavia in control. The Rebels up 24-0. Owen Simpson to kick it away. 1:58 to go, and whistles on the kickoff and flag down. Somebody got offsides. That's a rare call in high school football, in any football, isn't it?
You don't see it very often. Coach Evans didn't like that one either. But he doesn't seem to be protesting that one as much, so officials seem to have gotten that one correct. But doesn't happen often. It's the kind of play, it's just a concentration penalty.
Yep.
Obviously, you're wanting to get down the field aggressively, but you just got to be smart. Pay attention to the tempo of the kicker. So that'll give Helena a few extra yards. 1:58 left. The Huskies have 2 timeouts left in this half.
Simpson with the boot to the 5-yard line. Huskies there, the 20, 25, breaking through to the 34-yard line. So their best return of the night as Nathan Jones brings it back, the wide receiver. He's been their best player tonight, probably more effective than Jordan Washington.
He's been
so
really
far.
good. Yeah, those 2 guys are the playmakers. Again, Helena's moved the ball. This is something they've done a good job tonight of moving the ball up and down the field. They've just not been able to cash in once they've gotten to the red zone. And you're not going to win many games at the 6A, 7A level like that, especially not against a team the caliber of Vestavia.
First down and 10. Rebels would love to preserve the shutout here at the half. We'll go to B.J. Milliken after this play for a quick update. And there's a nice tackle, 2-yard gain, Jacob Watson. BJ, what do you got on William Tonsmeyer?
Yeah, guys, he didn't stay in the tent for very long, and he popped out. He put on his helmet immediately, ran to the sideline, and was kind of like, put me in, coach. He was the first person to greet Caden Taylor after he scored that touchdown, and he did a little chest bump with him, so his ankle must be okay.
I'd still take his helmet. So steal his helmet, BJ.
Got it.
That's your assignment, so he can't find it to go back out on the field. There's a handoff inside, knifing in. Watson again, like a run blitz almost. He got back there so quick.
And Coach Evans may think about, does he want to use a timeout here? Minute and 9. You're up 24, obviously, but he's going to let it run. Vestavia does have 2 timeouts left. I love the attitude from Tonsmeyer, wanting to get back onto the field, wanting to be there with his teammates, wanting to help his team win. He looked really good when he's gotten going. Notably, the Vestavia staff has offensive coordinator Josh Franklin has only ran him up the middle, north and south. There's been nothing side to side, which is smart. But he's looked good, especially when he had that long run and got to top speed.
3rd down and 8. Acker going inside. Ross got blocked, still tried to make the play, and now he's cleaned up by Hardiman. But they threw a flag, and I think because Jordan is so aggressive, it looks like it's excessive, but it really wasn't. I didn't see him grab a face mask, but that's what they're going to call.
We'll watch the replay here. This is an incredible effort by Jordan Ross. Leap the blocker, go down, get back up immediately, grabs a hold. There's face mask. Yeah, he got it and twisted.
He did. Okay.
Got it and twisted. But that's an incredible effort by Jordan Ross. I get blocked, but I don't care. It's like a hot stove. I'm immediately back up and flying towards the quarterback. Unbelievable effort by Jordan Ross.
You can't fault that.
Oh.
That's just an effort play by Jordan. Of course, the Tennessee commit, top 40 player in America. Handoff left side, not much happening there. The line of scrimmage has been controlled. Hammock coming in hard for the Rebels for Vestavia. And they've really done a nice job, except for a handful of plays in this game.
That's right, and just great plays by this Helena offense. This has been a really well-played first half by the Rebels. You're looking against a very good 6A opponent. You want to come out, give yourself a springboard into the playoffs, and they have done that.
Walker Gardner with that last play as well for the Rebels, the senior, getting some defensive line play there. So 24-0, Vestavia on top of the Rebels, and B.J. Milliken is going to track down Robert Evans, and he's still hollering at the officials right now. So B.J., will go down to you with the interview.
Coach, 0 points on the board for the opponent. How'd they do in the first half?
Did good, minus the fumble. And then, I'm trying to watch out for our kids, but apparently the officials can't see them cutting our knees. It's the only thing I brought up before the game, and I guess I'm seeing a different game, so that's frustrating. But it's what it is. We played really well offensively, and outside some big plays, we played well defensively. I just trying to protect our kids' safety of the game, and it's really frustrating when they can't see those things.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And that's what Robert is upset about as we go. We will take a break here on the show, Rebel Nation Sports Network. You're watching the Rebels on top of the Huskies, 24-0. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
Welcome back at the half, where Vestavia Hills leads Helena 24-0. We're celebrating the halftime festivities and really pleased to be joined by Miss Tanya Roselle, the principal of Vestavia Hills High School. Miss Roselle, thank you for being here and joining us. You're here at every event that happens on this campus, and athletics and football, what it means. It really just is a community celebration, brings everybody together.
Well, so pretty much every time we have an event on this campus, we have grandparents, great-grandparents, aunts and uncles, even family that drive in from out of state because they want to be part of something really special, and they've been hearing about it for years. So this really is a community event, and just like everything we do it big.
And we get the opportunity to show these football games every single week, but there's so much going on at this campus. If you're a student that attends Vestavia Hills High School, whatever's going on, you have an opportunity to get involved.
Absolutely. So this past weekend, we had the fall play, and it was Clue. And it was a great turnout, but our students did a lot of the technical theater aspect of it, a lot of the directing. It was a very hard production that really pushed them and challenged them, but all the feedback that I've gotten from people have been like, wow, this was amazing, and I can't believe teenagers do this. But they worked very hard, and then we had our choir show, we had our fall choir performance. There literally is something going on all the time.
And that's what's so neat, is just so many opportunities for young people to get involved. But at the core, it's academics, and it's folks coming out and performing. And the recent announcement, 14 students, National Merit semifinals. That's huge for the high school.
It is, and every year you don't ever know what your number is going to be. So you're always very pleased to hear how many students do well in that. And I don't think that people really fully understand. I mean, this really starts in kindergarten, goes all the way through 11th grade year when they take this test. But the opportunities that will be opened up, the doors that are open for financial aid, scholarships, it just really opens a wide door and may provide opportunities that may not have been had elsewhere.
Yeah, and for folks that don't know, I mean, that is the elite of the elite of the elite when you come from an academic standpoint and getting those opportunities. So from a school perspective, you work on a calendar. We've gone through, we're here at the last game of the football season. You're coming up. What's going on at the high school, I guess, for the rest of this semester as you start winding down?
Well, we're finishing up fall sports. So our cross country is still going at it. Our girls flag football team has done amazing. They won both of their games last night. And we're also getting ready for winter sports. So all that is already starting. And then we're winding down our second 9 weeks, and so it'll be December before we turn around, and they're studying for semester exams, and it's just something all the time. But our kids really do excel academically, athletically, and in the arts. And so many of these kids, really, we have a lot of kids who do all of it, and they love their experience here, and we just have a lot of community support, and it's just a great place to be a student.
Well, and that's a product of your leadership. We appreciate all that you do for this school and for this community. Really pleased to be joined by Vestavia Hills High School Principal, Ms. Tanya Roselle.
Thank you for having me.
When the on-time service technician arrives in your home, you give us an amazing opportunity. The opportunity to earn your trust, to arrive at your home on time, to fix the problem in your home, and to never sell you something you don't need. When the job is done and the technician leaves, I want you to be really pleased with the work. And I want something more. I want you to say to yourself, I trust that guy.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
Rebel Athletics would like to thank Ross Neely, Yearly and More, Kathy Smith Remax, Alexander Shannara, Alabama Pain Physicians, Streamline Scientific, Molecular Designs, Arc Realty, and LeMaster Medical for their contributions.
Welcome back to Thompson-Reynolds Stadium. The Helena Band putting on the final touches of the first half. And we thank Chad Pilcher for interviewing the Vestavia High School principal. We love hearing from our leadership in the Vestavia Hills school system and area, as well as the city of Vestavia, also a big sponsor of the school too. So we love having them along and on board as well. The Vestavia Hills Rebels Marching Band will have their final performance at home, at least, coming up in just a couple of minutes, and we'll do a nice job of showing you that as well here on the Rebel Nation Sports Network. Don't forget, next week we have a playoff game, 7 o'clock. You will not see us on One Rebel Athletics. You will only see us on NFHS. So in the playoffs, it's always only NFHS. So be sure you join and you go there to follow all the playoff action with the Vestavia Hills Rebels. And it should be a nice run in the playoffs for Vestavia. We'll take another 2-minute break, come back with more. The Vestavia Hills Rebels Band coming up. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
And here is the Vestavia Hills High School Marching Band for their final home performance of 2023. Let's enjoy. Nice job, as always, by the Vestavia Hills Rebel Band and their final home performance here at Thompson-Reynolds Stadium. We'll take another break and come back with more. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
When the on-time service technician arrives in your home, you give us an amazing opportunity. The opportunity to earn your trust, to arrive at your home on time, to fix the problem in your home, and to never sell you something you don't need. When the job is done and the technician leaves, I want you to be really pleased with the work. And I want something more. I want you to say to yourself, I trust that guy.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
Rebel Athletics would like to thank Ross Neely, Yearly and More, Kathy Smith Remax, Alexander Shannara, Alabama Pain Physicians, Streamline Scientific, Molecular Designs, Arc Realty, and LeMaster Medical for their contributions.
Look at the field as the Rebels get ready. 24-0 over Helena. What numbers jump out on you as you look at the stats?
For Helena, they've moved the ball. They've just not been able to cash in with points. Helena, 144 yards of total offense compared to 280 yards for Vestavia. Helena's run it for 35 yards, only averaging 1.8 yards per carry. They've thrown it 7 of 9 for 109 yards. They did miss their one field goal that they've tried. For Vestavia, 15 first downs in that first half compared to 6 for Helena. Vestavia ran it for 182 yards, threw it for 5 of 9 for 98 yards, and had that 280 yards of total offense. Leading rusher John Paul Head, 11 carries, 97 yards. William Tonsmeyer back and healthy, had 6 carries for 58 yards. Caden Taylor, 5 carries, 27 yards, including that touchdown. John Paul Head's 5 of 9 through the air for 98 yards and a touchdown. Chase Webb had that 53-yard touchdown catch. Cooper Mollison, 1 catch for 12. Taylor had 2 catches for 36 yards. And so for Vestavia, a very clean half, the way they were able to come out and play strong. And if our math is correct, add 24 to the 95 that they've scored in these last 2 weeks. That's 119-0 over the last 10 quarters of football for Vestavia Hills High School.
I'll take it as we head to the playoffs for sure. Vestavia will kick off as they won the toss and took the football as they normally do at the first of the game. So Owen Simpson will be the man that'll put the toe to the leather as we get ready to begin the third quarter here on the One Rebel Athletics YouTube page. Be sure you go by there and subscribe. Also, the folks on NFHS, that's where the playoffs will be only next week and the following weeks. There's another touchback, second of the night for Owen Simpson, and the Huskies will begin at the 20.
And for now, for Coach Busby and Helena, you've got a home playoff game next week. This game is not in a great spot.
It's not out of hand yet, but it's getting close.
It's getting close, so you really have to think, how do I approach this second half? We've got to be smart. Absolutely, look, you'd love to win, and if you get some kind of crazy rebound and play really, really well in the second half, maybe you have a chance. But if Vestavia continues to play like they have, you don't have a chance. And so you got to be really smart on how Coach Busby manages the second half.
Handoff inside Dom Santiago, and he'll get a couple before he was dropped by Hannah and Bruno.
For Coach Evans, it's a little simpler. You put your starters back out there, you let them play, and once you get a little over 30, you bring in the subs. And so if Vestavia's able to get a stop and go down and score, that's probably going to be it for the starters for the rest of the night.
Acker still at quarterback, hands to Santiago again. He's stuffed immediately right there. Bean and Jacob Watson coming up in a bad mood, and that'll lose it. Well, they're going to give forward momentum actually very close to the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd down and 8.
And if you're Coach Evans and Coach Rainey, what you want to see is your defense come back and pick up right where they left off, give you a good, strong first drive, and that's a good start on those first 2 plays.
Watson now playing the slot receiver, but now creeping up possibly to blitz. Here he comes hard. They double team him. Acker gets it away. One-on-one coverage, and that's a good play. Good no call as well. And nice job by Gibson Bean covering Nathan Jones, the wideout, down the field.
How about that? Jones has been the star tonight for the Huskies. Gibson Bean, the linebacker, in man-to-man coverage, running step for step with him.
I think Helena had the play dialed up they wanted, but Bean knocked it away with great coverage. So 4th down and 8. Taft back to receive. A very, very short kick, and that will take a Vestavia bounce. And this could be the knockout punch coming up, as that is out on the 45-yard line.
And not that you want to ever be down, but when you're down and it's cold, that just adds insult to injury.
Are you cold?
It's just so tough. It got cold over halftime.
You're cold.
I'm cold. You are too.
But you're right. I know exactly what you're talking about. No, you're right. I mean, it is harder in the cold. Boy, it's a nice pass. Back shoulder throw there for the Rebels. And that was a really good catch by Luke Stubbs, a tight end. Look at this back shoulder.
Just a great job of getting his body turned and then getting his foot down in bounds. Great effort by Stubbs.
1st down and 10. Handoff. Tonsmeyer's still in the game. Wow. 7 or 8 yards. They're not listening, but I'm screaming up here. And they just won't listen.
Well, and the best part is that tells you he's healthy, which is outstanding, that he's back, that he's healthy. And when we saw him run full speed, he was moving.
Oh, wow. That's a tackle on his ankle right there. And
a little ridiculous there.
Yeah,
at
Brett
the end
Berry.
of the play. Berry threw his leg at the end of that play. Officials did not see that.
Yeah. 3rd down and 3. Boy, I wince every time he carries the football. They're going after his feet, too. He's in the secondary. He's got a 1st down and more as Tonsmeyer is down to the 11-yard line. So he's got close to 70 yards now on the game. And I thought he'd get 3 to 5 carries. That's maybe his 8th or 9th carry. Handoff, Tonsmeyer again. 10, 12, 3, 2. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Might as well give him a touchdown now, right?
Let him finish it off.
Handoff, Tonsmeyer this time. Boy, they're really going after that ankle, aren't they?
Yeah, hard to tell there. I mean, they're just going trying to make a play. But you do worry about it. I mean, it's, look, 2 weeks ago, now he's going to jog off. And he's jogging clean. Like, there's no, doesn't look like there's any limp as he comes off. He's jogging off nicely. Looks to be okay. So that's the good news.
Here's your power package. Normally this is a John Paul Head deal. He's got it. He'll run right, and it'll be an easy touchdown for John Paul Head as he runs it in again, his 19th touchdown running the football on the year.
Pretty good, and this is just so hard to stop. You know it's coming. Blockers downhill. John Paul Head does a good job of being right on the hip of his teammate and lets him carry him into the end zone.
There it is again. And look at the good blocking there. Nice kick out, Livingston, Page, all the guys up top. And easy run for Mr. Head. Simpson will come on for the extra point. 30-0 Vestavia, trying to make it 31. And that will do it right there, 31-0. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network, 31-0 Vestavia. We'll be back.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
Welcome back to Rebel Nation Sports Network. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, BJ Milliken, our great crew. There's Robert Evans, who has restored the toughness and the edge to Vestavia Hills Rebels football in 2 years. Back-to-back playoffs. That hadn't happened in a while. And here come the Huskies on the kickoff. Jones, nice move to get across the 25, and he's finally wrestled down there at the 26-yard line by Caden Daniels.
Vestavia Hills went to the playoffs 12 years in a row from 1993 to 2004. They missed the playoffs in 2005. Then they made the playoffs 8 times in a row from 2006 to 2013, which included the 15-0 season in 2000. I think it was 98. 1998 was the 15-0 season. That's the one Robert Evans played on.
Yes,
but again,
championship team.
The last time that Vestavia went to the playoffs in back-to-back years was 2012 and 2013. Made it in 2012 and 2013. Made it in 2015. Went 1-1, and then made it in 2019. Went 0-1. But again, tonight the things that are here happening is first time to go back-to-back playoffs in a decade. And the first time to win 8 games in the regular season since 2015.
In about 8 years, yeah.
That team went 9-3, went 1-1 in the playoffs.
So we hope to do better than that. First down and 15 on the penalty to the Huskies. A little throw out to Jones. And look at the red shirts on the pursuit. Plaisance, Mayhall, Faust. You got a couple of defensive linemen out there, Chad, on a quick throw out to a wideout.
It's about playing to a standard regardless of the score. Vestavia's up 31-0. It's a cold night. You're in the third quarter. This game is pretty much wrapped up, and guys are still flying to the football. That's what you love to see.
Second down and 12. Acker hands off. Santiago again, nice tackle there by Bruno. And Bruno just quietly having a really good year. He's the third leading tackler on this team. You wouldn't think that, would you?
He's constantly around the football, has a nose, understands the defense, understands and studies the offense to know what's coming. And when you do those things and you're a good athlete, you're going to get there and make plays. He's had a great season.
46 tackles on the year, third on the team. Jordan Ross leads with 53. Watson on his heels with 52. That, of course, was coming into tonight's play. Third down and 9. Santiago still back there. Acker throws over the middle, dropped by Jones, I think, right? Yep. Hannah was there to get a free hit, but Jones drops one, and another punt for Helena. Now, Jordan Washington's out. I think Richie Busby said enough is enough. It's 31-0. I'm going to let number 34 rest a little bit.
That's what we talked about is how do you manage this second half. They have Wetumpka next week at home in the first round of the playoffs. There's no reason to have Jordan Washington out here anymore. You're going to need him to win that playoff game next week.
There's the kick. Daniels kind of bumped into the punter, but they didn't call it. It's a good no call. And again, the Rebels will have it on their side of the 50, up 31-0 with 6:11 to go in the third quarter.
And want to repeat again, Helena's in Class 6A, but they are 8-1. They have been really good, really strong all season long. Lost their first game last week, 20-17 to Benjamin Russell, or they would have been the number 1 team in their region and undefeated coming into this ball game, and it's not even been close. Vestavia has been in control from really the beginning of this football game.
Braden Robertson now in, the backup quarterback. He's throwing a nice long pass, but it's picked off. Picked off right there by Eli Ray, and he's down the sideline to the 36-yard line, and there's a flag down, so we'll see what that's about.
It's going to be after the interception. It was an illegal block against Helena, so this is going to come back. But finally a positive play defensively for Helena. Every official around saw that one and threw their flag.
Yeah, that was blocking the back by Helena. But the turnover stands. So a couple of mistakes for Vestavia, turnovers, one on the opening kickoff and one right there with the backup quarterback.
Yeah, just tried to rush that a little bit, threw it a little quicker than maybe he wanted to. He had time in the pocket to take his time and deliver it, but
it wasn't really open.
No, it was not. It was well defended by Helena. It's one of those balls you probably want to check down to your next option offensively, and instead he tried to come in and make that first throw deep, and it resulted in an interception.
Robert did not like that with the backup quarterback coming in. 5:43 to go in the third. Helena back in business. Acker drops back, looking over the middle, and well guarded there by Bruno. A little zone coverage for Vestavia.
Great pressure.
Rush Harper is in there. Yates Bannon got some backups, but that have played quality football of late.
And you got to be ready to go.
Peterson right there. Hedgeman, number 99.
I've got Alan Peterson as 52.
Yep. So a lot of guys, fresh guys in there for the Rebels. There's Santiago around the left end. Bo Shea still in there. Rush Harper coming up to help him with that tackle, number 3. Harper's played a little bit more the last few weeks.
And
third down and 7.
That's the good thing about some of these games where the score gets out of hand. Guys get in there, they get to play, and all of a sudden they show up on film, and that results in more playing time. That results in you getting in the game a little bit earlier. And so that's been good to see for Vestavia. That's been a real benefit of these last few weeks.
It's third down and 3. I said 7. They had 7 on the play. Nice play there by Bean again on pass coverage for him. So that's a terrific play defending Travis McDaniel on the knockdown.
Just continuing to make plays, especially in coverage for Gibson Bean. Not something that you would really think about. He has a nose for the football. He's done a good job in the run game and flying around from his linebacker spot. But tonight, a little bit earlier, playing man-to-man, running down the field with a wide receiver, and they're also back in coverage. Does a good job pursuing and knocking that one down.
Big factor tonight is when they've made turnovers or bad penalties to extend drives or create drives for Helena, the Huskies have done nothing with it. And right there, they had a turnover after holding them on downs and got nothing. So the Rebels doing a nice job defensively, bouncing back from mistakes. Taft with a fair catch, and here come the Rebels. Let's see who comes in at quarterback here for Vestavia, and I think it's Charlie Taft. The freshman quarterback who's been wowing everybody on Monday and Tuesday nights with his running ability, and he's wowing some people right here on his first run. Taft inside to the 28-yard line, and I think there's flags down and more flags on extracurricular activity in the secondary.
We're going to have a face mask against Taft on the run. Then you're going to have an unsportsmanlike, we'll see which way they call it, dead ball. He called it before he did not hear the second flag that came out. And that was a dead ball flag, so that one should also be enforced regardless of who it's against.
Yeah, the official didn't look around, so now. And maybe the most meaningless call in sports is the offsetting penalties.
You both did something bad, no one gets punished.
So just don't throw a flag. Go talk to them and be done with it, right? It's not like they go to the penalty box, right? Or 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Some new guys in there offensively for Vestavia, besides Charlie Taff, obviously.
Wesley Smith in at center.
Ben Wallace is in at running back, playing a little slot there. Yeah, it looks like some of the backup offensive linemen. There's a nice hole there. Is that Wallace? No, that's maybe Cross Tonsmeyer.
I think it was Ben Wallace leading the way blocking. Cross Tonsmeyer got the carry.
Yeah, Cross, he's your nickel back defensively, but getting some running plays there. Taff around right in, still trying to get up. And he might maybe get a yard on that play, be 3rd and 1.
And that's the same type of zone read play you see John Paul Head run. Taff with the extra speed, trying to get to the outside and move. John Paul Head runs the same play. He just runs north and south and gets straight up the field.
Tonsmeyer, like his brother, banging away, and he'll get about 4 for another first down for the Rebels to the 43-yard line. Cross, a good-looking athlete. Another baseball player, just like his brother. William, who, of course, committed to Southern Miss. Cross, a sophomore, and another nice run down to the 38-yard line. So another gain of 4 or 5.
I love the patience of this Vestavia offense, regardless of who the ball carrier might be. Allowing the play to develop, following your blockers as you run through the hole.
And Vestavia still at a quick pace, Chad. Tonsmeyer again off right tackle. He's very close to a first down, but still running the offense that Josh Franklin wants to run.
Running it, keeping it on the ground also, which for purposes of this game allows the clock to continue to run.
Handoff, Tonsmeyer inside, cuts back to the outside, and he'll be thrown out of bounds, but not before he's got a first down of about 7 yards.
The offense looks good on this drive, really executing well. All these plays on the ground. Tonsmeyer now comes out of the game, but really got after it.
First down from the 27. In motion is Webb. They throw it out to him. He's got blockers. 25-20. Cuts inside nicely to the 12-yard line, and he's thrown down. Still not down. The Huskies tried to throw him on the ground, and he kept his feet. Nice kick-out block by Carson Mann.
What a great play. And you know the speed of Webb, but how about the agility and the strength? Eli Ray trying to be cute and throw him down, but Webb doesn't go down. Stays on his feet. Great athletic play by Webb.
First down and 10, Rebels. Handoff inside. Carson Purdy to the 5-yard line. Purdy has done a nice job the last couple of weeks as well. Purdy on the year, his 14th carry, over 50 yards. Handoff, Carson Purdy for the touchdown. 37-0 Rebels. Purdy, a sophomore who's going to get some playing time and be a good Rebel in the future.
Great run by Purdy. Great blocking up front. Blake Smitha, Ben Minimum, and another touchdown for the Rebels.
So, 37-0 Vestavia. Owen Simpson will be on for the extra point. The kick is up. It is good. Timeout on the field, 38-0. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Welcome back to Thompson-Reynolds Stadium. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, B.J. Milliken, our great crew here for Game 10. Rebels look like they're on their way to 8-2 for the first time, 8 wins in 8 years. There's a short kick for Owen Simpson at the 10. Bringing it back, it looks like Washington, right? They're actually bringing back the kickoff, so he's not running the football, but he's bringing kicks back. Mayhall on the tackle.
Want to take a few minutes to send our condolences to the Hammond family. Mr. Ben Hammond, a Vestavia Hills resident, passed away earlier this week. Many of you probably know his sons Steve, Chris, and Greg, just outstanding baseball players, and Greg still lives here in Vestavia Hills. I got to know Mr. Hammond and Miss Kalita over the last 10 or 15 years, just an outstanding human being who lived a wonderful life and is going to deeply be missed. So our condolences to the Hammond family.
Absolutely. Hard to find a better family, a better people than the Hammonds. I know Chris very, very strong in his faith. There's a backup quarterback again, Ferguson in. Cross Tonsmeyer, who just got through running through the Husky defense with a nice tackle on Ferguson.
And for the Vestavia defense, just more of the same. Running to the football, making plays. Been really impressed. This is a good Helena team, and Vestavia has just been outstanding. They've been the better team, no doubt. Now, Helena probably wants some of the calls back early in the ball game where they had a chance to potentially put points on the board, but I don't think it would have mattered with the way that Vestavia is playing tonight.
Absolutely. They might have scored once or twice, but it would not have mattered. There's a handoff again. Santiago wrestled down by Russ Harper. Also, John was there. Uh-oh, there's somebody injured there. Cross Tonsmeyer down on the field. We'll take a 1-minute break as Tonsmeyer is on the field. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Rebel Athletics would like to thank Ross Neely, Yearly and More, Kathy Smith Remax, Alexander Shonora, Alabama Pain Physicians, Streamline Scientific, Molecular Designs, Arc Realty, and LeMaster Medical for their contributions.
All right, Cross Tonsmeyer, good news, is up on his feet and making his way to the sideline after being on the field for quite a few minutes. Robert Evans checking with him. Looks like he's a little groggy, but
looks like he took a shot.
At least he's all right.
Walking off on his own power, which is what you always like to see, but he will certainly go to the tent to get checked out. And that's where you are in this point in the ball game. You got a big lead.
Yeah, that's
it's the
that's
fourth
your
quarter.
Nickelback.
Keep everyone healthy to the extent that you can. You have to be cognizant of that.
First down and 10. Whistle, and the play is dead again. False start against the Huskies. So we're into the fourth quarter. Ferguson in a quarterback for the Huskies. So they have put up the white flag, so to speak, at least with their starters, pretty much. And the Rebels are playing their backups defensively as well.
We started this game talking about how do you approach this game, because from a statistical standpoint or a playoff standpoint, it doesn't matter.
There's a nice long pass to Jones, and kind of weird, but now there's a flag. Wow. What a late flag. They call pass interference on Cohen Nelson.
And there was certainly a push, but it would seem to be as if the ball got
simultaneous,
there.
right?
Yeah, I mean, certainly with as high as that ball was, and certainly wasn't going to be caught. Nelson got turned around a little bit, and then as he recovers, he jumps. That's right as the ball's getting there.
That's a bad call.
I don't like that one.
It looked like it.
But the official called it, so that's the call, and now you just have to turn around and be ready to make the next play.
First down and 10. Handoff Santiago on the right side. He's got a bevy of blockers there, but Nelson drags him down after a 4-yard gain.
The same official threw another flag. So we'll wait and see what that call is.
And an illegal block for Helena.
That's the call Coach Evans was looking for in the first half.
So first down and 15, really 16 for the Huskies. Football at the 44-yard line. Ferguson dropped right in his tracks by Yates Bannon, who's gotten a lot of play time the last 2 or 3 games. Bannon comes in like a rocket.
Look at him fly into the backfield, elude the blocker, wrap him up, and make the tackle. Yates Bannon, the last several weeks, has been really, really good. He's made a huge contribution to this Vestavia defense, and that time gets a tackle for loss.
Yeah, and now that's second at about 20, Chad. Football at the 40, just a little over the 40-yard line. Ferguson drops back, throws a nice pass, but behind his man a little bit. Nelson on the coverage, but he was trying to hit his wide out on that one, and they're down to their 6th, 7th wide outs over there.
And Vestavia playing loose coverage, so what that does, it gives the receivers an opportunity to get open, especially with this second, third and long situation. You just want to keep everything in front of you. And so the receiver was open, the ball was not delivered on target.
Third down and 20. Vestavia in control, 38-0 in this non-regional game, trying to go 8-2 on the year. Ferguson throws a screen to Santiago, snuffed out nicely. How about that? Nice play, Cohen Nelson, who had the pass interference called on him. He saw that coming, read the lineman coming downfield, and made a nice tackle. Fourth down. Fourth and 15. Austin Lewis will be on to kick. Taft will be back to receive it for the Rebels. Taft tried to catch it, picked it up, and he's dropped, but he touched it at the 4. That's the first one he's dropped all year, but he picked it up anyway. And the Rebels will have it on the 4-yard line.
It's a great point. It's a freshman out there returning punts.
Yeah.
He's done it a ton, and for that to be the first time the ball's hit the
good.
ground,
Last
pretty
game.
darn good. Unfortunately, it happens in this game, late in the ball game, instead of in hopefully next week. Get that out of your
38-0.
system.
Yeah, absolutely. Taft in at quarterback. Handoff inside. I didn't see if that was Williamson or Purdy. Not sure. I think that's Whit Williamson who gets the running play and gets about 5 up the middle. So the offensive line, even the backup offensive line, is doing well, opening holes.
Doing a great job. And that's one thing that's probably going unheralded. I hope we've done a good job of talking about it this year, is how good the Vestavia offensive line is playing.
Terrific.
I can think of very few situations where we said, hey, the offensive line just didn't play well tonight.
Maybe Thompson when the line of scrimmage was handled then, but we still had a chance to win the game.
Exactly. Yeah,
and that's all you can ask.
That may not be so much of playing well as opposed to the other team just having outstanding athletes.
So 3rd down and 4, and we'll go to B.J. Milliken right after this play. He's got an update. And Taft fakes it, runs it up the middle. 1st down to the 18-yard line. BJ, what do you got?
Yeah, well, Griff, it's not just senior night for the football players. It's also senior night for the band and for the cheerleaders. I've got 3 senior captains here with me. Tell me your names.
I'm Kennedy Vincent. I'm Brennan Martin. I'm Mallory Four.
All right, guys, I'll start with you. What's it like? This is the last time you'll be out here in the stadium cheering for your Rebels. What's it like tonight?
It's really sad, but I've just loved spending the past 4 years here cheering with my teammates. It's just been awesome, and I love each and every one of these girls. So I'm happy, but it's also really sad to leave the underclassmen, but it's been great.
And I'll ask you guys the same thing. It's got to be tough, like she just said. A little sad, but also happy. You're doing something you like to do.
Yeah, it's definitely really sad, just like parting ways with some girls going to different colleges. But it's been a really great experience getting to meet so many people and just create relationships with them.
Yeah, we've learned how to lead, we've learned how to work as a team, so we've created, lifelong friendships. So.
But one more game, at least, right? We're going on the road next year. All of y'all were at Austin last year. Do we have score predictions?
I think we're going to win.
By a good bit.
I hope so. We're pretty good this year.
Well, it looks like we're going to do something right now. We're about to score. Yes. We'll send it back to you guys.
Charlie Taft is going to score on the long touchdown run over 70 yards for the freshman.
And let's watch it again. This is probably the first of many long runs you're going to see from Charlie Taft over the next several years, just running away from the defense. Nice play, young man.
So Taft faked everybody out on the end run to Brendan Marshall, I think was in there running back, and kept it and went around left end for the score. Simpson on for the extra point, and he somehow he missed it. All right, so Simpson misses the extra point, but 44-0. We'll take a 45-second break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
Welcome back to a great night for Vestavia tonight, 44-0 over the Huskies. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, B.J. Milliken, who's talking to John Paul Head, getting the update, no doubt, on next week's playoff game against Austin, which again be the NFHS network. Our last game on the One Rebel Athletics as the kick goes downfield, and the Huskies once again there's a flag way down here in the middle of nowhere. We'll see what that's about as we get ready for the playoffs next week.
And this is the best time of year. It is playoff football. It's cold. You can sit at home, watch the broadcast, or be like those students that are here. But if you're at home, you crank down the heat. The megawatts are generated. You keep everybody comfortable, watch the game, and hang out with us next week for the playoffs. It doesn't get better.
No doubt about it. We'll be there in the cool weather in Decatur, braving the elements and bringing you the best job we can with the playoff game, hopefully bringing back a win like we did last year and come back for the playoffs again. 44-0 Vestavia. on top of the Huskies. Now, I want to bring up something to you and just get your opinion on it as we watch the rest of the game. Nice tackle there. A lot of backups in for the Rebels. And a good tackle there by William Cross, defensive back for the Rebels. Chelsea's going to be out of 7A. Helena could be elevated to 7A, which would be in our region. Also, Clay Chalkville is the word I hear. So if that happens, you could have a Thompson, who's the furthest school south, go to the region where Auburn, central of Phoenix City, and all that is, and suddenly Clay Chalkville and Helena come into the region where Vestavia is. Your thoughts on that? Again, they'll vote on it. They'll restructure in December.
And that happens every 2 years. They go in and they look at the classifications and they move them around based on populations. I think that would be fascinating if that were to occur. It would certainly shake up things here in this region. And look, the worst place to be is to be the smallest 7A school. I mean, I guess any classification, but
which
if you're,
Chelsea was.
Chelsea was. They were like number 2 or 3 from the bottom. And that's the worst place to be because you really don't have the student body size that you need to compete at that 7A level, but you get bumped up anyway. I guess a great example is Opelika. They actually fired their head coach Eric Speakman today after 6 years. In 4 years,
he was
in
terrific.
6A football, they were in the quarterfinals or semifinals every year, got bumped up to 7A the last 2 years, didn't make the playoffs, he's fired. And so that just tells you what a huge difference that is going from 6A to 7A.
It doesn't seem like it would be, but it really is.
Huge. It's a huge difference.
So you could see Helena in this region next year. And again, Clay Chalkville, who of course beat Thompson. So that's a 6A school that beat Thompson and has a lot of players. But then Thompson going down there where it's a really difficult region as well. And maybe not top to bottom, but certainly the top.
Well, that's a
is
ton
very
of,
difficult.
That's a ton of travel, too. To your point, they would be the farthest south, but that is a ton of travel. Now, the one thing that – nice catch there.
And Helena with one of their biggest plays of the night. Ferguson with a pass, and William Cross ran him out of bounds.
The other thing, though, if you look, currently in 7A, 2 of the regions have 8 teams, one has 7 and one has 9. So they're not afraid to mix it up if the travel's too far. So they could clump it up and make it 9. Who knows what they might do. But they're not afraid to have uneven regions if they have to do it. So it'll be fascinating and really interesting to see.
Now let me throw another interesting thing at you. You ready for this? Georgia voted out 7A today. So Georgia will not have 7A, and I think they had about 30, 32 teams as well. Could we see that one day?
I've long said I understand the reason that Alabama has 7A. It's because you have 10 to 15 schools with just really elevated school populations, and that's why they did it. I think Alabama's not big enough to have 7A if you really look at it from a totality of the circumstances. I wish, again, going back to the Spain Park example, where Spain Park's going to end up the season probably 7-3, be a really good kind of top 10 team, and they're not going to make the playoffs. I wish you would go down and potentially expand those playoffs, give those guys, if you stay 7A, maybe you have 24 teams and give somebody a bye. I mean, these are all good programs that deserve opportunities. So I'll be interested to see. I love that Georgia's willing to have that conversation, and I would expect Alabama is constantly having those kind of discussions as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. A lot of seniors coming off there. Aria John and Plaisance coming off. Hedgeman, Peterson is still in there, I think, at tackle as I look out there, and some other guys for the Rebels. Hard to get all these guys their playing time. Miles Plug is in there. So Garrett Hurst also in there. 3rd down and 13 for the Huskies. I just thought that was very interesting what could happen. Another errant snap, and the Huskies fall out. That'll make it 4th down.
And we talk about this a lot. It doesn't matter who's in the game. You want to come in and play up to that standard, play to the best of your ability. And these young men in the game right now have done an outstanding job.
Minute 22 and counting. We'll have the post-game interview with Robert Evans. So what would you like to see? Are you afraid to say that if I ask you? Is that an unfair question?
I don't have a vote.
I'm giving you a vote right now.
I decline.
Taft back for the punt, and it will go out of bounds about the 20. And the Rebels will come out with another couple of plays maybe. And we'll wrap this thing up and head to Austin. What a great way to wrap up our home season 2023 with a 44-0 win.
And then the last 3 games, after losing to Hewitt-Trussville 55-27, Vestavia's responded by winning the last 3 games of the season 139-0.
That's about as good as you could do, isn't it?
Really good.
Robertson handed off at the middle, and about a 1-yard gain there. All kind of Rebels just running in and out. A lot of junior varsity guys and guys that play on Monday, Tuesday, and Brendan Marshall there, the running back, got about a yard. They may have time for one more play here. Handoff Marshall again inside. This time Marshall, who ran well last week, about 6 or 7 on that carry. And to your point earlier, that shows you that Robert Evans and the coaching staff, look, this game's over, but those guys are still in there executing blocks. Marshall's running hard, and they're still playing football.
Playing football, getting opportunities, and that's what's great about this game. A great performance as Vestavia Hills ends the season 8-2.
It's a great year, 8-2. First time since 2015 with Buddy Anderson. And Vestavia football, I think I could go ahead and say it, is back. That's 15-7 and back-to-back playoff runs for Robert Evans, the Vestavia alum, and you couldn't be happier for him, his family, this Vestavia family, and the state of the program right now. I don't think you could ask for a better start.
You're climbing, and you're climbing quickly. It's an improvement from last year. It's going to continue to do that. And it starts, leadership matters. Coaches matter. And when you look at this Vestavia football program, it started with the hiring of Myra Miles as the athletic director. And then when that job became open, the first call and the only call she made was to Robert Evans. And he didn't take the job immediately, and she kept calling, and she kept calling.
She told me she wasn't going to take no for an answer.
You hear people say that, but she literally did not take no for an answer.
Right. Yeah, that's not just a saying.
No.
She did not.
The first answer was not yes, and she kept at it, and she kept at it, and she got the right guy, and that's why this football program is where it is here in 2023.
We'll take a 1-minute break. We'll come back. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
When the on-time service technician arrives in your home, you give us an amazing opportunity. The opportunity to earn your trust, to arrive at your home on time, to fix the problem in your home, and to never sell you something you don't need. When the job is done and the technician leaves, I want you to be really pleased with the work. And I want something more. I want you to say to yourself, I trust that guy.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
Welcome back to Thompson Reynolds Stadium. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher. There's Robert Evans, the architect of a 15-7 two-year run here, back-to-back playoffs. I think it's more than you expected. Probably would be about the accurate way to put his run so far.
He's done what he needed to do. He's put things in place, and he would probably tell you we're just getting started. And we'll go down to B.J. Milliken and get his thoughts on this game.
Well, Coach, after the Hewitt-Trussville game, you've outscored your opponents 139-0. I think they got the message.
we've gotten better. And the response was, my response was to be a little bit more physical and more aggressive in practice and cleaning up run fits. But we haven't played a team as good as Hewitt-Trussville either, so that has something to do with it. But I think Helena's a quality opponent. They have a really good running back, probably the best we'll see this year. And then they had a couple of receivers out tonight, and that's probably a big deal for them. But this is a step up in competition. They haven't played anybody like us, and that kind of showed up tonight. And was proud of the way we were physical. I think we had close to 400 yards rushing and kind of did what we wanted to do. And outside the opening kickoff fumble and some missed assignments defensively, I thought we played a clean, aggressive game. And we go up to start the real season, the final season next week in Austin, and we're going to be a tough out.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. What do you see about them? I know you probably looked at them a little bit.
Yeah, they were off this week. They've been preparing for us. They're significantly better in my estimation than they were last year. We got after them pretty good last year. Coach Perkins and his staff, I think they're the best coached team in North Alabama, and I don't think it's close. I think they probably should have been the 1 seed, lost a couple games early. They're so much more talented than they were, and they're more physical than they were a year ago. They got a really big disruptor that's committed to South Alabama on their defensive front, and they're very sound. Coach Perkins has done a great job up there, so we'll have to play similar to what we played tonight. And but whoever we play, if we play like we played tonight, it's going to be a tough out.
A lot of seniors on this field tonight for the last time. What do they mean to you?
No, possibly. You never know what could happen.
That's
so
true.
There's a chance. There's a scenario out there where we can be back, and I hope we will. I hope we can get back. But you know, our focus is totally on Austin. But I want them to enjoy this with the friends and the family. In all likelihood, it is the last time playing at Thompson-Reynolds Stadium, and that's significant. I remember my last game here. I'm sure all the seniors kind of remember their last game at home, and I hope even on a school night they can enjoy this.
Thanks, Coach. I'm going to talk to one of them right now, and JP.
Absolutely.
Congrats.
He deserves it. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to bring JP in. As I just talked to Coach, saying this could be your last game on this field, what has this meant to you?
Oh, it was great. I mean, we ended it the perfect way. I mean, shut out, put up a bunch of points. I didn't really think about it until I was coming up here, and I got really sad. Hugged Charlie Ingram and Cooper Mollison. I was like, God, I might not ever play on this field ever again. And it's sad, but it's a good ending.
There you go. Well, you go up to Austin next week, a team you're familiar with. What are you thinking about those guys?
I just remember they're really physical, they're big and fast. But I know Coach Franklin, Coach Evans will have good schemes, and I think we'll go up there and get a W.
You told me on the sidelines that you had a message for somebody special.
I just want to thank y'all because how good y'all's broadcast is. My grandparents, they can't come to any of the games. They live in a nursing home, and they watch it every single Friday, and they watch it all throughout the week. And I just want to thank y'all because of y'all, they can come and watch my games. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Appreciate that, and that makes it worth it right there, besides all the other fans that get to watch and the fans that won't make the trip to Decatur that'll get to watch. And it's our honor that we are allowed to do this with Myra Miles and Robert Evans and Laura Casey and Vestavia Board and all the people that allow us to do this.
It's so much fun. And again, with me living here, it's been so neat over these last 2 years just to hear from so many people but during the game and out in the community that watch, that are invested in this program. And it's such a privilege for us to get to do this. And for the grandparents, you should be very proud of that young man. He makes games a lot easier to call. I mean, it's so much fun to watch what he's done over these last 2 years at the quarterback position. But for all these young men, the time they put in, think about it. We're here, and it's really cold tonight. These guys started when it was burning up hot back in August and really in the summer when they were working, and you play all your season to get ready for what's going to happen next week. And all that matters is you have 4 games left if you keep winning. And what can you do? Can you make a run? None of the records matter. It doesn't matter where you play. It doesn't matter what situation is. You get to show up, and you just go at it for 48 minutes, and you see what happens. And if you don't get it done, you're done, and you go home. But it's a chance to do something really, really special if you're able to put together 4 good weeks of football. And I would say with the way the Vestavia played tonight, with the way they've kind of recovered and bounced back from that Hewitt-Trussville loss, Coach said it, and I think every coach around this state's going to say, goodness gracious, they're going to bring it. We're going to get their best, and if Vestavia plays to the best of their ability, I believe they can beat any team in the state.
Absolutely. So, again, the final 44-0. It's been a great year. The year is not over. It's over right here on the One Rebel Athletics YouTube channel. because by rule, we'll be on the NFHS channel, which we're on that all year as well. So be sure you subscribe to NFHS as well for the playoffs. It's worth it. It's not much. You get to watch the same broadcast you see here for the entirety of the playoffs, besides all the other Vestavia sports that we put up on NFHS. So be sure you do that as well. As we go into next week, we'll do the pregame around 6:30 or so, as usual, and then have the kickoff right about 7 o'clock from Decatur with the Austin Bears and the Vestavia Hills Rebels. I want to tip my hat and say a great thank you to the great crew that we have, Chad. John Rocket directing and editing and shooting every week. John Versiglio, kind of a guy that sets up everything, makes everything look good. He does our slow-mo and is very critical to the performance as well. Everybody's critical to the performance. Randy Mize on color camera tonight, doing a great job. Toby Carter on the play-by-play camera tonight. All these guys are good guys and very professional in their jobs. Also, Mr. Young filling in, Carson Young filling in for our normal photographer, Fletcher Tubbs, who has been out with an illness. But Carson, we appreciate him the last couple of weeks as well. We wish Stephen Gill and Roger Jackson a speedy recovery to come back. I think Stephen had a trip. He's not injured or sick, but they'll be back with us next week on the road as well. Thanks to you for your help the last 2 years as well, and to BJ Milliken as well for being with us and giving us all the information on the sideline. So I had fun tonight, and we still got some more football.
Had fun tonight, had fun all season long. You said it well. There's a lot of people and a lot of work that goes on and goes into producing these broadcasts and putting them on the online and getting them to you every single week. And we're not perfect, but there's a lot of folks that put in a lot of hard work, and we're really proud to be a part of this. And thank you guys for watching and for highlight this football program and this school and this community and the great things that are happening there. And so that's what we seek to do every week. And it's just, again, a real privilege to be a part of this.
All right, we'll wrap it up here at Thompson Reynolds Stadium. For all the crew and for everybody, we'll talk to you again next Friday about 6:30 again from Decatur. But until then, go Rebels. Vestavia 8-2 on the year. The first time with 8 wins in a regular season since 2015. 44-0 winners over Helena. So long, everybody.